Hey guys, Outdoor Enthusiast 88 here again. There's some pouring rain the last 5 days here in North Carolina, and it finally kind of lit up a little bit. Had the sun come out today, and I'm letting the range that we have dry out a little bit before we kind of head out back out there. So I want to take the opportunity to show you guys one of my favorite firearms in my collection. This is a Beretta 92fs and 9mm, made in Italy. It does have some modifications to it, as you can tell with the grip, with the hammer. And it's actually an excellent firearm to take to the range. And in fact, we take it to the range almost as a staple, which means it does need to be cleaned quite a bit. It's a good training 9mm to put someone on who's only shot 22 pistols and want to teach them some of the safety features as well as the ergonomics with shooting a 9mm. So it's definitely a great firearm to have in your collection. I love it. It's got some good wear on it, on the barrel there, on the slide, from holster wear, from running around in the range bag all the time. So I want to take this moment to kind of show you guys how I clean it and how I maintain it, keep it lubed up, so that way it's good to go every time I go to the range. So let's go ahead, take a look inside, take a look. So you will need a few basic items to actually clean your Beretta. First and foremost, you will need the Beretta pistol, and make sure to do a safety check. Nothing is in the chamber, good to go there. And then kind of going left to right, you will need a cleaning rod of some type or a cleaning pull-through cable with the available attachments. And the attachments that I use all the time are a loop attachment, help pull through your actual patches up here, as well as either a nylon or a wire brush for the bore size I'm using. So this is actually a 9mm bore size and is a wire brush. And also I would suggest a brush of some type, a nice soft toothbrush, old toothbrush, new cheap bulk pack of toothbrushes. Either way, these work really good to get in kind of the small crevices. I chose for oil CLP Break Free. It seems to work pretty good. Nice middle of the road oil. There's a ton of different kinds out there, but this you can buy in bulk off Amazon for the best price, and you get a whole bunch of it in a big bottle. It is a squirt bottle, but I end up putting it in this little reusable sample bottle. This has a little dropper on the end. You will need something with a dropper to kind of put some fine point lubrication points on there. And then also I have a little spray bottle here, a little cheap squirt bottle to kind of get some oil on these patches. And these are cotton patches right here, multi-caliber. You'll need smaller ones for 22 or 5.56 or something like that. But these work pretty good. Also, you can cut up some old t-shirts if you want to save money that way. And I would also recommend you actually use some kind of gloves. This oil isn't too bad, but any chemicals kind of hitting your skin over and over again over a long period of time, that's going to probably cause some damage. But either way, gloves, probably a good idea. So first step, take apart your firearm. You have a little push button right here. Go ahead and push that in, and then pull this lever down. Slide will come forward. There you go. I would actually cock the hammer at this point, because what you can do is you can clean right in there. Then go ahead, and there's a spring pressure guide rod right here. Slowly unhook that, lift, push in and lift up. There you go. I have not upgraded to the metal rod, but this is just a plastic polymer rod, metal spring. You'll be cleaning those. And then of course, pop out your barrel. Now your barrel is right in here. Go ahead. There's a button right here where you saw it push in and slide out like that. And now you have your basic field strip with the Beretta 92fs. Let's go ahead, get all your oil ready to go and clean this up. So actually, if you notice, this is on a tech mat for the Beretta 92. It has kind of like the schematics here for the Beretta 92, full disassembly right there. But I do like to use that just to kind of help with the chemicals, kind of keep them all on a pad here and away from touching any surfaces underneath. So that's good. Less mess if it kind of stays and soaks onto this pad. Now I do like to start with the barrel components, which is the spring, guide rod, and the barrel assembly itself. And what you're going to do actually is grab yourself a patch like this, take a spray bottle, go ahead, just spray this down a little bit. Go ahead, wipe it down. See, it's not too dirty this time around. The dirtiest points are going to be right there in the chamber, where the chamber is. See how that's coming on or coming off right there. Nice and clean. Actually go ahead and fold this right here. Push it through. If you can get it. One of the problems working with gloves, it's kind of hard to grab small pieces there, but I do go ahead and kind of run that through back and forth a little bit. Clean any grime that might have got stuck in there. There you go. You can actually go ahead and take the same patch, which has just a little bit of grit on it, some oil still. Go ahead, clean off this guide rod here. Usually not too dirty, but it's good to have cleaned up. And then you go ahead and take your spring. Just go ahead and kind of twist down, clean it up a little bit. Again, not too dirty of a part, but good to clean nonetheless. Go ahead and get yourself a fresh patch. A little more oil on it. I'd go ahead and hit it one more time, especially if you haven't cleaned this in a while. Again, this part right here is very dirty. Look how nice and shiny that is now. There's some parts that are actually moving parts here. You'll see they don't get too dirty, but you see that way that slides back and forth there. I would go ahead and just kind of get your finger in there. Again, they don't get very dirty, but it is something to kind of help get in there once in a while, and it'll help operating the pistol and actually help take down an assembly, because this part right here actually tends to be gummed up quite a bit. There you go. All right, so you have a decent patch here still. I'll save that for later. What you want to do, get your guide rod or your cable with a little brush on it. I actually like to go and start with just a brush, squirt a little bit of oil on it. Always go from breech to muzzle. Go straight through. Spin it off. One more time. What this is going to do is going to help break up any kind of carbon in there. And again, straight through. Make sure you hold the handle if it's one of the ones that spin, because what's going to do is allow, you'll see it, it actually spins with the rifling in the barrel. And you'll feel it. All right. Then what I'm going to do, take one of these patches here, wrap it around, squirt it down, get it nice and oiled up, and again, run it through. There you go. And repeat this step until this comes out clean. All right, so I would grab another patch and repeat, and then when this comes out clean, I'll show you guys the next step. So like I mentioned earlier in the video, this Beretta was actually my very first handgun purchase ever. So it is kind of the staple in my range bag for the most part, and I've taken it probably almost every trip to the range, if not every other trip, which means I've cleaned it just about that many times as well. So it's got thousands of rounds through it, not a single issue with it so far. So it definitely has the reliability there, but also keeping it clean and maintained is a big plus. I mean, obviously some of the cosmetics, you know, the wear for slide wear and wear for holster wear, those kind of things. I mean, that you give and take. I mean, those are bound to happen. It is a firearm. It is a tool after all. But that being said, the bore on, the rifling on this barrel is almost as new as the day I bought it. So I'll show you guys real quick if I can. See if I can get just a little bit of light down there. Check that out. As shiny and as good a deep of rifling as the day I bought it. It's kind of hard to tell on camera, but it's because it's blinding with the chrome lining in there. So go ahead, use, 3, 4, 5 patches, whatever you need to do to get to the point where it's almost clean, because the last step for the barrel is actually go ahead, take a clean patch, get your loop installed on the end here. Go ahead, fold it over, run it through like that, get a little bit of oil on there. Go ahead, push it through slowly, let it spin a little bit, and there you go. So now you went ahead and ran it through, and you want, you can pull back through again, maybe run it one more time, and that's going to help keep a nice thin layer or thin film of oil in the barrel for the next time you hit the range. There you go. Go ahead, take that patch, hit the crown of the barrel a little bit right there, and look at that, spot clean, spotless right there. So you're good to go with the barrel. All right, so you're done with the rod assembly. Now you're gonna go ahead, grab your brush. You're gonna need a few more patches, and we'll move to the slide. All right, so the slide, you'll see the more you shoot this, you'll see wear marks. All right, so we're gonna clean this whole slide first, and then I'm gonna show you guys the lubrication points on the slide and the frame. Go ahead. You can keep using a patch if it's not too dirty. Go ahead, hit it first. You'll see this is one of the dirtiest parts, is the slide actually of a firearm. You could use your toothbrush if you want at this point. Kind of help get in there with a patch, or you can actually go ahead, jump right in. See that right there? You'll see the firing pin right in there. Scrub the face right there. What you don't want to do is put any oil directly down to the firing pin. So I'll show you guys that here in a sec. But this toothbrush is great for loosening up any debris. All right, so now you got your toothbrush there. Go ahead and take a fresh patch. Get it nice and oiled up. Good amount of oil in there. Go ahead and put muzzle down, because what you're gonna do is clean all this, and if there's any oil dripping down, I'd rather have it drip down and not drip into that firing pin, which could potentially gum up the firing pin, because obviously that isn't something you typically clean up and replace very often. So this is more of a basic cleaning. So always point it muzzle down on the slide. Go ahead and use as many patches as you need to get this done. Just keep applying a little bit of oil, maybe a little less and less. Don't need to soak this thing. You can even go with some dry patches here in a minute until these come out as clean as you'd like. They don't have to be spotless. I'll move on to the next step, which is the frame. So the frame of the Beretta 92fs can get pretty dirty, and really where I see a lot of dirt is actually in this channel right here where the trigger group kind of gets into, and as well as the mag well. So what I usually start to do is actually I'll take a clean patch, go ahead, clean off the rails a little bit, no oil this time around. Get in there, and you'll see there's a bunch of gunk and debris already in there. Go ahead, run a patch in the mag well. Like that. All right, get yourself, actually you know what I'll do, grab a little toothbrush here, put a little squirt on the toothbrush, because what we can do is get in the rails right here with a light oil, kind of help get in there, break up any debris that might be stuck on there, depending on how long you've gone between cleaning. Go ahead and get in here. There you go. The good thing about toothbrushes, you can also get down in here, clean up some of the magwell area inside the pistol grip. All right, go ahead, get yourself a patch. Get some good oil on there. Start cleaning the rails with the oil first. I'm gonna go ahead, get in here. If you want to get a deep clean down in this channel, you can use a pick, something kind of maybe more plastic. They sell little plastic picks. I don't have them right now. I think the last one I had broke, but you can get a pick. They're pretty affordable. You can also use maybe like a plastic rod of some type, but generally speaking, this area does get dirty, but it doesn't need to be really scrub too much. You'll see in there, I mean, the patches alone kind of cleaned it up a little bit. Nothing too crazy. I'd hit the mag well one more time, especially towards the top. With a fresh patch. You can see it's still pretty dirty. So really what you do is use less and less oil as you go until everything is pretty clean and your patches are coming out. A little less grit in there. Be careful with all the small parts. Obviously, all this is very delicate. You don't want to bend or mess up any of these parts here or the components. So just kind of clean with care. So that's pretty good. I mean, the frame is pretty solid. You don't have to really scrub it too much. There you go. All right, so before you reassemble, I'll show you guys use probably about maybe 10, 12 patches throughout this whole process here. So that's not too bad. But before you go ahead and disassemble, there are a few spots on here that you're gonna wanna take your little dropper bottle to reapply some lubrication. So, of course the rails are very important. Go ahead, put a drop on each rail. Okay, nice, fine, just a single drop. Don't wanna drown it. All right, if you want, you can put a drop where the hammer is connected there. Just a little bit, get it in there. Work it in there, helps keep that lubricated. Some people say you could add a little drop of the spring in there for the trigger if you want. Typically I don't like to drown that too much. I haven't had a problem with it whatsoever. Now looking at your barrel, what you actually want to do, and you can probably do it with what's left on your glove from lubrication, is you want to actually see this wear. You'll notice, you know, a couple thousand rounds or whatever this actually has on it now, you're actually seeing quite a bit of wear on the barrel where it contacts the slide. So you can go and actually you can go ahead and put a little drop on there, a little dab. And then for the slide, you'll notice wear here, 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 a little bit up front here. So what you can do, put a drop there, drop in here, a little line, a little drop in this channel. You see the little part of the slide right in there, those two corners right there. A little drop there. And if you want, a little drop up front. Again, don't drown it, but it's good to get drops in there. You can even see, I mean, that right there, the wear from the hammer isn't too bad. You don't really need to lubricate that up too much, but there you go. So reassembly, you know, pretty straightforward, kind of the opposite of disassembly. So go ahead, get your rod together here. Barrel assembly goes right in there, like so. And you see how this kind of gets gummed up a little bit. You want to make sure it drops in nice and smooth, like that. Just make sure that's aligned right in the middle. Guide rod will be under spring pressure. Go ahead, put it down, lock it in place like that. You're good there. And then go ahead, put your slide back on like so. Slide it back, flip that lever back. You're back in business. It's okay if some of this oil, especially from your hands or the gloves, get on the outside of this. The oil will evaporate and it'll, you know, it looks nice and shiny and new right now, but it will go away, so you don't have to worry about that too much, and it's not going to affect anything. Some people actually, they make some cloths you can use to wipe this down. Some people take like a cloth, like a patch, and you can kind of just hit the excess, and it'll help spread it around, kind of make a little bit more thin coat than having any kind of one part that's kind of a glob there. And you can see there's a little bit of dirt on the outside, but overall nice and clean, ready to go for the next range trip. So, well, hey, I hope this helps you guys, helps you, some of these Beretta fans, hopefully this helps you, especially your first time, maybe cleaning this. It's not too bad. It's one of the easier firearms to clean, in my opinion, and you really don't need a whole lot of parts to do it or a whole lot of items. But I will put a few of the items I used today below. Most of them you get off Amazon for cheap, Walmart as well. So, well, hey, thanks for watching, guys. Hey, subscribe to the channel. Let me know if any questions below. Like this video, and I'll see you in the next review.